Breaking news! Live with Justin. Nobody's on it yet because we just started.
think
If
you
you're
scared
watching
them all
this,
away.
if you're watching this on playback, it's just for you because nobody's actually on it yet. How are you doing? Thanks for joining when they join or watching on playback. Do live stream news Monday to Friday, 9 o'clock for an hour or so. Put a few videos out a week and a few shorts as well, where you can see me beating contenders at dancing competitions. So we're
Or
just
being beaten by contenders.
yeah, exactly, being beaten by contenders. So we're just gonna let the glasses demist.
Can people see you? Because it's so dark in here.
Oh yeah, they can if they're on the channel, Liz. Yeah. Hope everyone's had an amazing day, whatever time you're watching this. I know not everyone can join the live stream, but I'm glad you're watching it on playback as well. Feel free to comment if you couldn't comment in the live stream messaging. Says we've got 2 people up there and 1 like. That's like a ratio of 50% likes.
Wow.
2 people,
We're
1
going
like.
up in the world, Jazz.
So the day is Thursday.
The 19th?
The 19th.
Is it the 19th?
Yeah, it says 19th down here. But
Oh,
have
yeah,
I
19th.
refreshed the laptop? While we're waiting for people, we just have a bit of a relaxed chat. I remember I did the news when I started doing these news live streams. I did it last week, and for the first 20 minutes, I was reading 4-day-old news because I didn't refresh my laptop from the last time I had it open.
It wasn't 4 day, it was like 2 day old. Because
No.
it was over the
I'll
weekend.
tell you what, 3 days final offer loose.
2
Right.
days, because it was over the weekend.
Who said my wife can find anything to argue about? I don't know who said that. But yes, and it took me 20 minutes of reading 4-day-old news, not 2-day-old
No,
news.
2 day old news.
Before I realised I'd already read these news reports. What a flaming galah, mate. What a flaming galah. Right, I tell you what, I'm just going to get into it. Just going to crack on. I'm going to go for it. Right, let's have a look.
There's an orange next to you on the table.
An orange?
Yeah.
Well, there's the breaking news, guys. That's it for today. There was an orange next to me on a table.
9:45.
Can we have some quiet in the studio, please? So it seems we've got an activist in the newsroom.
Activist.
Bloody activist.
Kicking off. Right, here we go.
How my leg's stuck.
Breaking news, Hannah's leg stuck.
I'll make some toast.
Breaking news, Hannah's going to make some toast. Right, here we go. Water bills to rise by an average of 36% over the next 5 years, says water regulator Ofwat. The biggest rise in bills will be borne by customers of a firm, some of whom are currently without water because of a technical issue. So the price of water is going up. Average water bills in England and Wales will increase by 36% over the next 5 years, the water regulator Ofwat has said. Let's have a click here.
I swear they want everyone to be poor.
Yeah, well, a lot of people say that.
I swear they don't want anyone to have any money or any success, ever.
I think you're right. The rise is equivalent to an average extra cost of £31 a year. Water companies had asked for an average rise of 40%. The regulator's draft determinations issued in July said bills would rise by an average of 21% up to 2030. It comes as almost 60,000 homes across Hampshire are without water because of a technical issue at a southern water parlour supply works. Morning, Luz.
Morning.
Just had a message from someone saying they got a heavy sewing machine for me to pick up.
Oh, that's non-ferrous. We can pick it up, can we?
Yeah, it'd be for car boot, don't it?
Oh, car boot, okay.
But I'll have a look after this live. So Southern Water customers will experience the biggest rise in the cost of bills of all 11 water and wastewater companies, a 53% hike. The company has sought an increase of 83%. Customers of Wessex Water will have the lowest 21% bill rise. The 16 million customers of the UK's biggest water company, Thames Water, will see bills become 35% more expensive below the 53% increase requested by the utility. Morning, Shane. How are you doing? Thanks for joining.
Hi, Shane.
How the devil are you? By 2030, a typical annual bill will cost £588. So we're talking about the rise of the cost of water. I've got someone just tried ringing me on a video call.
Did they?
Yeah. How mad's that? We're talking about the cost of water in the UK. It's going up 35%.
I remember when I was young, they never charged people for water.
No?
There was no charges for water at all.
I'm sure there was some.
No, there wasn't. There was no
Something,
water
yeah.
charges at all. You could just have water and drink water with no charges.
That's when you lived down by the river, Luce.
Next minute, do you know what? Next tax they'll put on is breathing oxygen in the air.
Yeah, can't breathe in too heavy,
Yeah, you
mate.
can't breathe too much. They put the oxygen tax up.
Yeah, paying the most every year in 5 years, time will be Dwyer Cymru customers, which is Welsh, I'm guessing, with an average annual bill of £645 a year for water. Wow, man. Absolutely wow. I literally just started this live stream. I had somebody text about a sewing machine. And then somebody just tried and call me on like a WhatsApp meeting. I was like, what's going on? Never had one in my life. So why are bills going up? Bills are going up as utilities face a range of problems, including higher borrowing costs on large levels of debt, creaking infrastructure, and record sewage outflows into waterways. Ofwat has now agreed to investment plans by the water companies. Funding this investment is another reason bills have been allowed to rise. The regulator has approved £104 billion in funding, above the £85 billion agreed with firms in Ofwat's draft determination, but just below the £108 billion the companies wanted.
Yeah, most of that money will go flipping towards dividends and bonuses.
Yeah, see, the thing is, before I read on any more, if you think about it with these water companies, they pretty much can do what they want. Like, people can turn around and say, we want the water companies fine because they've let off more sewage than they should have. Sebastian Lopez, hello, how are you doing? From Argentina.
Hello.
Saludos desde Argentina.
Hello.
We
hello.
salute you. Thank you for joining. Yeah, they can do what they want, these water companies, because at the end of the day, you can threaten them and fine them as much as you want. But if everyone walked out of that water company, I need that. It's got me mouse on it. No, I need the bench. If everyone walked out from the water company and they stopped producing water, nobody would have any water in the taps, and they'd soon be begging them to come back. Now they know they've got this power. They know they've got this power, so they just do what they want, really. So, higher bills will not solve the financial woes at some of the utilities, including Thames Water, which this week won court approval to pursue the next phase in securing a £3 billion emergency loan. If approval had not been granted, Thames Water told the High Court it would run out of cash by 24th of March. And would likely be pushed into a government-backed special administration regime. Ofwat Chief Executive David Black said, "We recognise it is a difficult time for many, and we are acutely aware of the impact of that bill increase will have for some customers. That is why it is vital that companies are stepping up their support for customers who struggle to pay. We have robustly examined all funding requests to make sure they provide value for money and deliver real improvements while ensuring the sector can attract the levels of investment it needs to meet environmental requirements."
Do you know what? They talk the talk, but they never fulfill any promises on anything. I've just given up hope with all these parties, honestly.
Sebastian says, "Gracias, che." Gracias,
That
Sebastian.
means thank you.
Yeah, I know it does. I might look stupid, but I'm not stupid. I know what gracias means, mate. Gracias, Sebastian. Hello, Shane. So this is cool. Got a few people on there now. We're warming up, guys. Warming up. So yeah, I don't know what the water companies are like in your countries, but over here, every year the price of water goes up and up and up, and the average bill in a place like Wales is like £650 a year for water, and they're gonna smack a 35% rise on that. So what's that? That's an extra £180 a month, isn't it? £200 a month.
You know, they're not even looking after the water that we drink. You know, they're pumping sewer water into our rivers and seas.
Yeah.
You know,
First thing you see.
disgusting.
First thing you see when you go down where we are, Western Shore. As soon as you go on the beach, first thing you see is one of the waste pipes, concrete waste pipes coming out into the ocean. So yes, it's not great, is it? It's not great.
Oh, Sebastian's talking about your beard.
Your beard looks good on you. Thank you very much, Sebastian. There you go, look. Somebody was talking about my beard yesterday. They said, "Oh, why haven't you got a moustache?" It's because it grows there, and it leaves a big gap in the middle. So I used to have a moustache, but I took it off, and now I'm all about the beard. Thank you very much. It's getting there. It's getting there. Look at that, look.
You're going to plait it
And
soon,
I've got it
aren't
at the
you?
back as well. I'm growing it at the back. We're going Mohican, mate. We're going for the last of Mohicans. Right, Sebastian, I'm going to get into the next story. If it's your first time watching us, we do a live stream news report 9 a.m. in the morning, Monday to Friday, for around an hour and a half, where you can talk like this, join in. Gavin says, good morning. Good morning, Gavin.
Hi,
Thank you
Gavin.
for joining us again. So we just talked about the water companies.
How are you?
We also do videos and shorts throughout the week. So join in. There's always something to keep you entertained. And on this, you can be interactive. And if you miss it, you can always watch it on playback. So it's cool, right? Next story. UK's youngest murderers since James Bulger killing could get longer sentences as judges consider leniency appeal. If the 3 senior judges agree the sentence was outside a reasonable range, they could choose to replace it with a new one. So, Britain's youngest knife murderers could be given a longer sentence as judges today consider if 8.5 years was too lenient. So the boys were both 12 when they were found guilty over a brutal machete attack of Sean Seashay, 19, in Wolverhampton in November 2023. Mr. Seashay was slashed in his legs and skull, while the fatal blow to his back was 23 centimetres deep and almost came out of his chest.
Oh, God.
Brutal. The boys are believed to be the youngest convicted of murder in the UK since Jamie Bulger's 11-year-old killers in 1993. They accused each other of wielding the machete, but were found to be jointly responsible for the attack, which trial judge Mrs. Justice Tipples called horrific and shocking. However, she said she also had to consider the boys' emotional maturity and other factors based on their age and upbringing when she sentenced them to a minimum of 8.5 years in September.
I think they should sentence them and re-look at it and maybe add on maybe add a bit more on when they get older to sort of reevaluate everything, you know?
Yeah. Maybe that's the way. The boys are now 13 but can't be legally named due to laws protecting young offenders, with the judge saying their welfare outweighed the wider interest in open justice. The bid to increase their sentence will be heard this morning at the Court of Appeal under the unduly lenient sentence ULS scheme. Relatives of victims and members of the public can use the scheme to ask the Attorney General's office to review sentences that seem unreasonably low.
There you go. That's what I said. Review it.
Yeah, you're right, Liz. If the 3 senior judges agree it was too lenient based on evidence at the time, they can quash it and replace it with a new one.
There you go.
They could also have it unchanged.
See, I knows.
She knows. Mr. Cesarhai, originally from Anguilla in the Caribbean, had been staying in Birmingham while recovering from cataract surgery and hoped to become an engineer in the UK. The attack happened when he and a friend encountered a group of children in a Wolverhampton park. Prosecutors said despite doing nothing to provoke them, he was attacked after one of the boys deliberately shoulder brushed him, walked into him, smashed him with his shoulder, and then pulled out a machete.
Oh my God.
Mr. C. Saho's friend escaped, but the 19-year-old ended up on the floor where he was punched, kicked, and repeatedly knifed. The boys have been held in secure accommodation since the attack.
God's sake, what's wrong with people?
Sad, isn't it?
What
You
is
know,
wrong
just
with
walking
people?
around, walking through a park with your friend, and the next minute you get attacked and you're no longer on this planet. Terrible, isn't it?
Awful.
Makes you don't want to go outside the front door. Right. How is everybody today? What are you up to? Where have you been? Where are you going? I'll get this next one lined up while I'm waiting for you guys. Shane says, today is a great day. Today is my daughter's birthday, KK. The only reason I was born to be a good father.
Oh, Shane, that's
Congratulations,
so sweet.
KK. Shane, have a good day. And wish KK a happy birthday from Juicy Killer Monster, Finding Hannah, and Live, Laugh, Love Lucy from the UK.
Yahoo!
Feel free to play this back to KK. That'd be cool, wouldn't it? Imagine seeing that on your birthday.
Yeah.
Yeah, feel free to play this back to KK. Happy birthday, KK. All from UK. Lots of Ks.
Yeah, Gavin's right there, what he said.
Gavin says, knife crime is crazy. They need to up the sentences for knife carrying so that less people can carry. I know, I think it's either a knife or a gun. I think it's a knife. I think it's like 4 or 5 years mandatory sentence if you're caught carrying a blade for over 6 inches or something. I'm not sure if it was a gun or...
No, it's a blade.
Was it a knife?
Yeah.
It was a few years back. But yeah, if you're caught carrying a knife, one of those machete knives, mate, you know, you've got no reason for having it, like you're not a tradesman or anything like this. You know, you're not cutting down bamboo or stuff, you know what I'm saying? Like walking around the city with it, you can get 4 or 5 years prison sentence just for having it. Oh,
But the
dear.
thing is, it just doesn't stop people. It just doesn't stop people because a lot of these people carry knives to protect themselves. And if they feel like they're in a gang or they're around that sort of lifestyle, they carry knives to protect themselves, a lot of them.
Yeah, we was talking about this the other day. So, you know, in America, we were talking about it, Shay, weren't we? That in America, you know, one person buys a gun and they say, right, I've got to protect myself. In case anything happens, I've got the right to have a gun, so I'll buy a gun. And then the next person buys a gun because they say, well, I know that person's got a gun. And if they pull a gun, I want to have a gun to protect myself against their gun. And then that spreads like a virus. Now everyone's got guns. And now every time something happens or something kicks off, the first thing someone does is pull their gun. Probably 8 times out of 10, they pull the trigger before trying to sort it out because they're scared. Because it's all about fear.
Do you know what needs to get better? It's the policing in this country just needs to get better and needs to get on top of things.
Here she is.
Hello.
You a little lovelet. Best weather girl in the world.
There's an orange.
I don't want an orange, Liz. Don't want an orange, mate. Can you do us a favour and turn the heating off, please?
Yeah.
I feel
No,
like
the policing needs to get better in this country. They need to be patrolling the streets, and they need to create fear so people, not like for the general public, but for the bad people, to actually fear them. Because at the moment, the police fear everybody else.
Yes, I think my wife has got a point now. Right, so here we go. Next story. Feel free to say hello if you're on the live stream and join in with your opinion. That's what it's all about, and we can talk about it, can't we? So this is about the shoplifting thing. So Shane, so the like button. What country are you in? We are in England, in the United Kingdom. Thank you for joining. The like button. Thank you for joining. We're reading the news. Feel free to have your opinion and say what you think. Shane goes, I agree. Best weather girl, women on YouTube. Yeah. So she's just walked out of the room when that comment came on. So I'll tell her when she comes back soon. So, more action the like button. I am from Arizona. Cool. Gavin says the children just don't have respect for authority like we did when we were young. Yeah, I think you're right, Gavin. When I was younger, there was loads of trouble in that because I come from like a rough council estate. But we always used to get in fights and that, but we used to punch each other and like just have a fight and it'd be dealt with. But now, because everyone's got knives on them and they think it makes them big men, they pull out knives and you got kids stabbing kids because out of fear, because they're not sure if they can fight or not. So they think it's easier to carry a knife just so they can scare someone. But they bring it out, they scare someone, and then they end up bloody stabbing someone, don't they? Children just have respect for authority like they did when we were young. 4TP. Very good 4TP. I'll let everyone else enjoy that in the comments. Accent suggests you probably are. I like that. Jeez Louise. There's only so many questions I can answer, mate. Certain types of questions I can answer at 9 in the morning. Let's have a look. So, more action promised after police attend fewer than 1 in 4 shoplifting incidents. Store owners and workers have complained that a lack of police attention towards retail crime has created an atmosphere where criminals believe they can see a few repercussions. So, this is about the shoplifters in the UK. Basically, if they go in there and steal under 100 quid's worth of stuff, the police don't even come out, and the shoplifters have to bear the brunt of it. The like button says, I own 37 guns. People ask me what I am afraid of. Nothing. I've taught my kids how to provide and protect with my weapons, not kill. Fair enough, like button. In the countries where you're from, if it's legal and everything else, and you're being responsible with it, who can question it? Do you know what I mean? The culture in America is completely different to the UK. The only guns you get in the UK, really, you got the gun stores. Over here, you can have a shotgun if you have a license. So you have to have a license, provide your details, probably like it is in America. But you're allowed a shotgun, and you have to have like a gun cabinet and all this. But yeah, the illegal guns over here, mate, main places around London and some places up north as well is where you find them in the inner cities where there's gangs. But everywhere in the UK is riddled with knife crime. That's what they do because it's easier for them to get hold of a knife and this and that. They just buy one of these machete knives from online. That's what they do. Gido Planet says, before you blame the children, blame the adults that came before. Very good point, Gido Planet. Yes, we are a product of our surroundings, aren't we? So, if more people led by example, and less children were scared and adults were more responsible, I'm pretty sure that's a very good point. Yeah, maybe there wouldn't be so many knives and guns around. Good point. The like button. I don't need a gun cabinet, however, I have one. By the sounds of it, mate, you need a gun bunker. You've got 37 guns. When you open the door, it must look like a gun shop, mate. But fair play to you. If you're doing it all legally and everything else, who can say any different? But thanks for joining in. So the policing minister has said she wants forces to do far more to tackle shoplifting after figures obtained on Sky News showed fewer than 1 in 4 incidences were attended to by officers in 2023. Dame Diana Johnson blamed declining officer numbers under the previous government, but also said she wanted to see shop theft treated seriously, and the police need to play their part. She was reacting to figures obtained by Sky News under the Freedom of Information Act that reveals officers turning up to fewer and fewer incidences over the last decade. Just 22% of shoplifting incidents were attended to immediately by police in 2023, based on responses from 22 of England's 39 police forces. In 2016, data from 17 forces gave an attendance rate of 52%, more than twice the 2023 figure, while in 2013, figures from 11 forces suggested an attendance rate of 72%, more than 3 times higher than a decade later. So what they're saying there is for every time somebody shoplifts a shop and the company ring up the police and say, come out, someone shoplifted, only 52% of the time did the police actually turn up. The rest of the time, gone, mate. So, like button says, I own an SKS 762x39, multiple ASR, multiple bolt action, multiple 9mm free shotguns. However, only one 191145. Fair enough. The only experience I've ever had with guns is when I was in the army. So we use the SA-80 rifles, semi-automatic rifles, 5.56mm caliber rounds. And then we fired the GPMG machine gun as well. That was cool. And then I sat on, well, I used one of the light guns for the artillery, which is one of those big cannon things with a big razor that digs into the ground. And you sit on it and they line it up on the scope like that. And they say, pull, and when you pull the lever, it goes like that. The cannon goes, massive rounds that go in it. And as it goes back, the razor digs into the mud and nearly knocks you off the light gun. Were you ever at Camp Levenak or Bastion? Let me think. So I was in Qasr in Iraq in 2002, I think it was. Just trying to think. We went to Camp Doha. We were up around Basra, went to all around parts around there. We're going to Saddam Hussein's palaces, fixing up all the cabling for the officers there. Camp Bastion sounds familiar, but was Camp Bastion in Afghanistan or Iraq? I don't remember. I can't remember. If it was in Iraq, I probably went to it, but it's so long ago, mate. 22 years ago. I think we went to Sheba Hospital, Basra, Camp Doha. That's where Camp Doha was, where the American PX was. Can you let the dog in, please, Liz?
Yeah.
It's where the American PX was, and it was funny because, you know, you'd have nothing in this desert, and then the American PX would have like Pizza Hut lorries and Baskin and Robbins ice cream thing, and they set up a whole camp out there. It was really cool. I deployed in 2012, so before my time, and it was Afghanistan. Yeah, I thought it was Afghanistan. I've never been to Afghanistan. I was in Iraq. But yeah, I was in Iraq in 2002. So well done, brother. Good on you. Thanks for your service. Yeah, Afghanistan, mate. That is some tough country, innit? That is some tough country, mate. I know a few people that went there. Yeah, I was out in 2008. I joined in 99. And I was out in 2008. Like button says, thank you for your service, brother. Yeah, thank you for your service, mate. Afghanistan. I mean, it was sketchy enough going to Iraq. And when I went there, you know, when they start off in the UK, it starts off as a war, doesn't it? Yeah. And then there's the transition between war and peacekeeping. So when we went out to Iraq in 2002, when I was there, the first 3 weeks we were there, it was still classed as a war. And then from there, it went into peacekeeping, and we were there for like another 5 months, classed as peacekeeping. Just as dangerous, but there you go. I joined 2008, the US Marines. Yeah, I joined 1999, the Royal Corps Signals in the British Army. So signals, we do all telecommunications, stuff like that. Mark David says, greetings. Greetings, Mark David. And then Live, Laugh, Love Lucy is given a big pink wave. Right, let's carry on with the story. So looking at just the 2013 and 2016 data sets, a clear trend of declining attendance rates is seen. So we're talking about the shoplifting in the UK and how the police hardly turn up to any of the things. Copium says, what are you doing? I am reading the news, Copium. Some of the police forces who responded to our request said this was because of modern, more remote investigation techniques. Others said that while officers may not always attend crime scenes immediately, they will often follow up at a later date if there are credible lines of inquiry. However, store owners and workers have complained that a lack of police attention towards retail crime has created an atmosphere where criminals believe they can steal with fewer repercussions. Earlier this year, the British Retail Consortium said violence and abuse against retail workers had risen substantially to 1,300 incidents per day in 22 and 23.
I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe it yesterday. I saw a police car pull up and chase down 2 young nippers that had stolen from the pound shop.
Did they?
I nearly fainted because I saw the police actually doing something.
Breaking news. Lucy said the police do something.
These nippers, apparently, they'd stolen something under £100, so they actually came out.
Yeah, I think so. Luce witnessed the police chasing 2 shoplifters out of the pound shop yesterday. So I think the glory times for all these shop thieves is over. I think the police are starting to clamp down on it. So let's read the rest of the report and see what we're doing. Hope everyone's having a fantastic day and thank you for joining me. I really appreciate it. Sky News has seen CCTV showing one shop worker in South London being threatened by 3 people on Christmas Day in 23. The thieves steal scratch cards and spirits and attempt to assault a cashier who fights back with what appears to be a spanner. Another London store owner said he used to keep a baseball bat and pepper spray behind his counter, but was told to remove them by police. We can't stop them, hold them or anything. Shopkeepers are so vulnerable at the moment, says Dennis Ryerson.
I feel sorry for them.
He also accused the police of not attending shop theft incidents and not taking the crime seriously enough. Commander Owen Richards from the Metropolitan Police said, our call handlers will assess each and every report and make an assessment based on the available lines of inquiry. Let's have a look. JS says, do it clap. Do it clap.
What does that mean?
No idea, brother. Thanks for joining. So it says, police arrest 93 gang members behind £4 million in thefts in shoplifting crackdown. Workers say shoplifting is out of control after surge in brazen thefts. A retail crime action plan was published by the National Police Chiefs Council, NPCC, last year, prioritising attendance to incidents where violence was involved or where an offender had been detained. However, levels of shop theft have increased dramatically in recent years, leading to pressure on police resources. A spokesperson for the NPCC said, we have made significant strides in our fight against retail crime, strengthening relationships with retailers and greatly improving information sharing, which has resulted in a number of high harm offenders being brought to justice. Dame Diana told the News, we know over the last year there's been a 29% increase in shop theft. They cannot go on, we need to take action and the police need to play their part. She also pointed to declines in officer numbers as possible reason for the drop in attendance rates.
I've seen an increase in security in shops though, because the police won't come out. Companies are hiring out private security firms to come and secure their shops.
They got you. Have that security guard on the door, right? You have a security guard on the door. It'll stop 50% of them.
Yeah, they won't.
I remember I went to the Range, which is like a hardware store here in the UK, shop in the UK, and I was literally at the till going to pay for something, and then about 5 tills down, matey just barged through the till, and ran out of the shop, and 2 shop workers tried stopping him, and he just ran out with a load of stuff.
It's awful, isn't it?
Didn't even bother ringing the police, nothing they could do about it. So to finish off this news bit, the police headcount fell by around 20,000 between 2010 and 2017, before rising again by 25,000 by 2023 amid a recruitment push launched under Boris Johnson. The Labour government has pledged an additional 13,000 additional neighbourhood officers by 2029. So Keir Starmer has also promised a name contactable police officer in every neighbourhood and an accident of the 2014 law that means low-value thefts of under £200 are subject to less serious punishment.
I don't believe a word he says.
So Keir Starmer's turning around at the end of that massive report. He's turning around and saying he's going to try and axe the law that was put in 2014 that police won't come if it's under £200 worth of shop theft. I thought it was 100, but
No,
it
it
was
is
200.
£100. Oh, right.
200 quid. You get away with 200 quid without the police being called. Mark David said she'd get a pit bull. No, I've got a little Yorkshire Terrier, mate. Got a little
He's
Yorkshire
savage,
Terrier.
isn't he? He is savage.
And I tell you what, this little Yorkshire Terrier, Jack Russell Cross, he'd have it with a pit bull, mate. Might not win, but he'd have it. Shane goes at Mark, sure, why not? All animals need love. Yeah, they do. Look at me, I need love. Ain't eating dog biscuits, though. Let's have a look. Oh, actually, the nearest I ever had to having a pit bull, I had a Staffordshire Bull Terrier cross years ago called Milo. Massive Staffordshire Bull Terrier cross. I don't know what he was crossed with, but it was a big dog, mate. Always had a bit of a pit bull look about him, like, you know what I mean? But
He was,
lovely
I was
dog.
petrified of him.
Lovely dog. No shopkeeper. No idea. Oh, you mean the shopkeeper should get a pit bull? Yes. Now it's making sense. I'm piecing it together, mate. He's saying the shopkeeper should get a pit bull.
Good idea.
Yeah, I tell you what. Go a long way, mate, wouldn't it, having a security dog there? Let's have a look. So let's talk about
a robo
local.
dog.
Let's talk about local news. So what is Hannah and Lucy up to today? So those that don't know, Hannah's my stepdaughter and Lucy's my wife. What are you up to today, girls?
So I'm going to take Hannah to see my friend in sort of down the road from us, and we're going to go for lunch, and we're going to go and see my mum's grave.
Yeah.
And then we're going to go and see your mum, drop off some Christmas presents.
Okay, cool. And Hannah, what are you doing today?
I'll go with Mother.
Anything else? Doing anything
She
else?
might be
right
doing
now?
a video, mightn't you, Han?
Yeah.
And we might be looking at a car, mightn't we?
Yes, we may be. We may be looking for a car. My love. Now, before we talk about Jack Russell won't cut it low. He might scratch their leg, you never know.
He's scary when he gets going, isn't he?
Yeah, with our dog, right, I tell you what it is with our dog. Every time we walk through the woods, it's a nightmare, right? Because all the other dog owners leave their dogs off the leads and they come up and they go to attack him, right? Because they think he's an easy dog to attack. But they don't realise when they attack him, he's been attacked so many times by these other dogs. He's hardened up to it and he just goes for him. And 9 times out of 10, it's just a dog fight. When you're going for a walk and you just want to have a relaxing walk, it ends up being a dog fight. So I tell you what, if you had a bigger dog, right, if you had his temperament in a bigger dog, he'd be dangerous. He'd be dangerous. But yeah, he's a lovely dog. But yeah, so Lucy just mentioned there. Thanks for saying that, Luce. Shane goes Marley. Mark David says I got a Japanese Spit A.
What's that?
I've heard of the Akita. Akita's a fighting dog, isn't it?
Yeah.
Because my mum used to have an Akita called Carla. She was an Akita cross. And that's a Japanese fighting dog, I think. But yeah, so what Lucy was saying today is I'm going to research and have a look at a few more, but I might be buying a little van today because next year we're going to be doing lots of car boot sales and Lucy has the car when she goes to work and I'm without a car. So I need to get like a little car derived van. I don't want a van, a panel van. I want a car that's the size of a small van so I can pick up car boot stock, do car boot sales in, go around here, go around there. So we might be looking at a van today if she gets back in time. And if we do, we can even do a video about it, couldn't we, if we do? So keep your eyes peeled, we'll see how we get on. But there's a nice one, a little Fiat Doblo down at a garage near us. A reasonably priced car derived van. So we'll have a look. I'll do some research today. If you see a video about it, you know we bought it. So I think while we're on it, and for the people of playback, so we've got 2 extra channels in this family. We're a YouTube family. So my wife's channel is called Live, Laugh, Love Lucy, and she talks about vlogging. So if you want to see another channel as well, check out her channel. And my stepdaughter has a channel called Finding Hannah, and she does lots of stuff on there, music reviews, talks about mental health, does really good videos of New York when she went to New York, and a real good mix on there. And she does singing and stuff like that as well. So check it out. So that's Live, Laugh, Love Lucy and Finding Hannah. There you go. Right. Next story. Motorists want tougher sentences and instant roadside bans for drink driving in the RAC, says the RAC. What's drink driving like in your countries? Have you seen any, what stories have you got about drink driving where you're from, and how do the police deal with it? Mark says, Fluffy cooks like an Arctic fox. Cheers for the possibility of new vehicle. Yes, thank you, Shane. So the organisation says drink driving deaths are similar to what they were in the late 1980s, and it wants the government to do more in its new road safety strategy. Harsher sentences and letting police ban people on the spot are among the most popular ways to tackle drink driving, according to the RAC. Around 2 in 5 motorists surveyed, 38%, wanted tougher penalties for an offence that contributed to an estimated 300 deaths in 2022. The minimum driving ban is currently 12 months, 3 years if convicted twice in 10 years. And in some cases, there can be a 6-month jail sentence and unlimited fine. However, a ban can only be imposed at a court hearing, meaning people caught over the limit can continue driving until then, which is absolutely stupid. Giving police the power to immediately ban drivers, who was a popular option in the survey, with 33% choosing it. Now, before I read any more of this, we watched one of those police camera action videos, TV programs the other day, and we couldn't believe what we were seeing. Mark goes, "Don't drink and drive, you spill too much," my father said. Yeah. We couldn't believe what we were seeing, right? This guy had a recovery truck, okay? And with the recovery truck, he had a car on the back of the recovery truck, and he had a trailer attached to the truck with a car on top of that, right? So he had a recovery truck, a trailer, and 2 cars. And he got pulled over by the police because his number plate was done and this and that, and they had reports of him sniffing a white powder whilst driving, yeah? Because he was driving for 30 hours, and the only way he was keeping himself awake was by sniffing cocaine when he was driving, right? So the police pull him over, they do an alcohol test on him, and they do a drugs test where they scrape the tongue, and he tested positive for cocaine. So what they did, left his vehicle where he was, took him to the police station, did the test, and yeah, he tested positive for cocaine, then let him out of the cell. Didn't confiscate his vehicle, didn't instantly ban his license or anything else, just let him out. So then he went straight back to his vehicle, and the next day was driving the same vehicle with the same trailer with 2 different cars on, got pulled again, got drug tested, had it in his system. And the driver had the audacity to turn around and say, after being found guilty of having cocaine in his system all the time, he turned around and said, "Oh, this is ridiculous. I've been pulled over 6 times in the last 10 days. Right? At what point do you say this guy is on drugs while he's driving? He's got like 5 tons in transit as he's driving along. He's going to kill someone. You know, if you test positive for cocaine at the side of the road or drink driving, you should have your license took off you, and you should get the bus home. Do you know what I mean? So we couldn't believe when we saw it.
I know.
Couldn't believe it.
Yeah. Right, we have to make a move because I've got to go and
Did you fill this up for us?
do some stuff today. Yeah.
Did you fill this up? Pick it down.
Let me know what happens with that car though, because I'll come back early. If you
Yeah, I'll have a look at a few as well, see what's out there.
Maybe just say goodbye to everyone.
Oh, Lucy and Hannah are popping off. They're going to say goodbye.
Bye, guys.
Goodbye, my lover. Bye, my friend. You fill it up for us.
Yeah.
Bye-bye.
Go on, Hannah. Why don't you show yourself? Say
No,
hello.
I don't want to.
Because then they can see your channel.
No,
Who wants to see Finding Hannah?
not me.
She's gone, mate. She's gone. She's out the door. She doesn't do autographs, and she only does appearances if she's paid for it. Cheers, love.
There you go.
Thank you very much.
All right, I'll see you a bit later.
See you later on. Right,
Bye,
just having
Mark.
my news repeater water. Goodbye, Mark.
Bye,
Thank you for
Shane.
watching. Ah, dear. Right, they're off. So let's finish. So it says, however, a ban can only be imposed at a court hearing, meaning people caught over the limit can continue driving until then. Giving police the power to immediately ban drivers was also a popular option in the survey, with 33% choosing it. Luce, can you do us a favour before you go, sweetheart?
Yeah.
Can you turn the heating on slightly and close the door for us?
Turn the heating on.
Yeah, but close the door as well.
The heating is on.
Okay, well, close the door when you're off.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, 34% said they would like to see the alcohol limit for driving cut to 0. The limit in England, Wales and Northern Ireland is 80 milligrams in 100 mils of blood, but nowhere else in Europe has a limit above 50 milligrams. So there we go. That was the drinking and the driving. Let's have a look here. Oh, I'll tell you what I saw on the news the other day, which isn't down here, but I'm going to talk about it anyway once Lucy goes. Have you got all Mum's presents and that, Lucy?
Yeah.
Okay, love. Shut
See you
that door.
later.
See you later. Finally, bit of silence, guys. Yeah. I'm only joking, love him. The price of chocolate is going through the roof. Do you know that? So if any chocolate lovers out there, next year, all the chocolate prices are going up by about 50%, mate. 50%. Because in South Africa, where all the, I'm doing this by memory, foreignator James Brewster absolutely loves chocolate. Good man, me too. But in South Africa, David goes, nah, mate. In South Africa, you know the cocoa trees that do the big cocoa plant fruits and they get the chocolate out. Apparently there's a virus on the old trees that they can't sort out. So when they're getting the big, if you've seen them, they look like melons, like melon pods. They're cutting them open and all the cocoa beans inside are moldy and you can't use them. So that has created a shortage in the world supply of chocolate. And because you know what it's like, if there's the demand but no supply, prices go up. And if there's too much supply and not demand, prices go down. So it was on the news the other day, the price of chocolate's going to go up. And it's getting that bad, right? It's getting that bad that all these chocolate companies that make chocolate bars are seeking chocolate alternatives instead of chocolate and putting like chocolate flavoring in instead of actual chocolate. So that's how bad it is. And there was a lady there. Right, who does chocolate workshops. Like that's her business, and she buys 15 kilogram bags of chocolate pellets that she can melt down. And she said, the news reporter said, how much of the was the bag of chocolate before? She got stacks of these bags, right? She said it used to be it used to be £110 for a 15 kilogram bag of chocolate. And she says now it's £185. And that's now, and it's going to go up even more in the future. So Fahrenheit says, did you know Steve Browman can eat an entire chocolate bar without chewing? Bloody hell. Amen. Sporgor goes, they still use the beans though, and it makes a chocolate that is toxic for the liver. It's terrible, mate, isn't it? Yeah, because I guess it is. If it's got mold in it, mate, it's not good, is it? Steve Browman said pecan logs are better than chocolate, though. Although any truth to that, not sure, mate. Not sure. Let's have a look here then. So what are you up to today? Thank you for joining. It's good to see the regulars on it, and it's good to see some new faces on it as well. Thank you very much for joining. If you don't know, we do live stream news 9 o'clock every morning, Monday to Friday, for an hour or so. We put a video or a short out every day as well. So thank you for joining the channel. There's lots for you to see, and hopefully you enjoy our content and can get some value out of it to help you in your own lives. We try our best anyway, don't we? So let's have a look here. Right, now we'll talk about a bit about entertainment and arts. So I thought this was interesting. Now, before I start this, anyone who ever, because I used to be a singer, a musician, anyone who ever tries writing a song nowadays, if that song sounds remotely like any other song that was ever written, in the form of the harmony, the beat, the timing, the tune, people can put a copyright claim against you, right? Okay, and if you're a famous superstar, this can happen. This has happened to Adele, and we're going to see what the story is behind it. So the headline goes, Troy Payne says, you look like that Venom actor. What, Tom Hardy? I'll take that, mate. What do you mean, before he turned into Venom or after he turned into Venom? Pripco Platypus goes, no, he doesn't. No, he really doesn't. Tom Hardy, yes, I'll take it, mate. Tom Hardy. Yes, I look like Tom Hardy. Come on, Pripco Platypus. Send the love, brother. There we go. Never been called up for that. And Troy says, haha, you really do. Thank you, brother. I'll take that. That's cheered me right up. Right, so this story is Adele's song must be pulled worldwide amid plagiarism claims Brazilian judge orders. So the case relates to Adele's 2015 track Million Years Ago, which the claimant insists plagiarizes the song Mulher's Woman, recorded by Brazilian singer Martinho de Villa in 1995. And it's got a picture of Adele going like this. Have you heard that before? No, Troy, I haven't heard that before, mate. Or maybe I should be a stunt double. What do you reckon? All we need, if we get him to put on 4 stone and grow a beard, then I could be his exact stunt double. What do you reckon? But thanks for pointing out, Troy. I'm holding on to that for the rest of my life now. In 20 years, someone will say, oh, have you ever been told you look like someone? I'll be like, yes, actually, Tom Hardy, yes. But, you know, what can I say? And I've got it recorded as well. So that's it. I'm holding on to it for life, mate. So a judge has ordered an Adele song be pulled worldwide over a plagiarism claim by a Brazilian composer. So a Brazilian judge is standing up for a Brazilian composer over a copyright claim. Okay, let's see what happens here. So the preliminary injunction by Brazilian judge Victor Torres in Rio de Janeiro's 6th commercial court on Friday was made in relation to Adele's 2015 track Million Years Ago, which a composer claims plagiarizes the song Mulher's Woman, recorded by Brazilian singer Martinho de Villa in 1995. The plagiarism case, which was brought in 2021 by the track's composer Tonino Guerreiros, is ongoing, but the injunction demands the song be pulled while it continues. The injunction, according to reports citing global news agency AFP, orders the record labels to stop immediately and globally from using, reproducing, editing, distributing, or commercializing the song Million Years Ago by any modality, means physical or digital support streaming or sharing platform. It threatens the Brazilian subsidiaries of Sony and Universal, the British pop stars labels, with a fine of £6,300 per act of non-compliance, the report says. So every time she plays that song every time she performs that song, plays that song after that court order has been given, she has to pay £6,300 fine for every time she plays it. Sporgor goes, they're also using AI to generate songs from a single clip of a song and will copyright claim it as well. Yeah, it's terrible. Going on from what I was saying, I actually did one of my own songs, a very simple three chord progression song going that's all it was, right? And it was my song that I written, everything else, and then it come up with a copyright claim because apparently it sounded like this other random song that I've never heard of in my life. Good luck to you if you're writing music. You know, Ed Sheeran got done a lot for that, didn't he? He was writing loads of songs, but I actually heard it in a couple of his songs, to be fair. But he always used to get out of court settlements, didn't he, for the song? So Fredimo Trotter, the lawyer of Mr. Guerreiros, told Sky News the ruling came after they started to request tougher measures from the court as the case continued to drag out. Mr. Trotter said, "The decision interrupts this harmful criminal act, and now time is running out against those being prosecuted, because interrupted plagiarism is plagiarism that doesn't make a profit. Ultimately, Mr. Gurias is suing for lost royalties, £126,000 in damages, plus a songwriting credit on Adele's track. Sky News has contacted Adele's representatives, Sony and Universal, for comment. Adele, 36, bid a tearful farewell to fans last month at the end of her 100-night Las Vegas residency show, revealing she doesn't know when she would return to performing as she needed a rest. The artist rose to fame as a 19-year-old in 2008 with her first album 19 before releasing her second album 21 and 25. Her second album is the fourth best-selling album of all time in the UK, behind Queen, ABBA and the Beatles. To be fair, mate, she's doing well. Do you know what I mean? She's doing well. Hope everyone's okay today. Moss Monster Men, is this a Joff-friendly stream? What is a Joff-friendly stream? Mark David said, Prince had 12,000 songs. Not sure, only know a dozen. Did he? I'll tell you a bit about Prince. So you know these top artists, they have singers, yeah? Now, they're backing singers. Now, one of the backing singers for Prince, now you'll definitely know the song, but you may not recognise the name. One of the backing singers for Prince was a guy called Alexander O'Neill. And Prince got rid of him. He said he didn't like him as a singer, okay? So he's fired Alexander O'Neill as a backing singer. So what Alexander O'Neill did, he had his own song, and he went to get it recorded, and that song was called Criticize. So if you haven't heard of the song, a bit of it goes, don't you criticize, I am there, ooh, dun, 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 dun. That was from Prince's backing singer, Alexander O'Neill. And the funny thing about it was he got fired by Prince because Prince didn't like his singing. So he then became a solo artist, brought out a song and beat Prince to #1 with that song. If that ain't karma, guys, I don't know what is. I thought that was legendary. It's like proper two fingers up it, like, you know what I mean? Do 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 do. Sporger says, give a monkey a typewriter. Wow, these copyright claims give no hope to the music industry. Yeah, the music industry is absolutely cutthroat, right? So I'll tell you a bit about my experience with the music industry. So for many years, I was a singer, guitar player, this, that, everything else. Yeah, I was writing my own music, putting out EPs, trying to make it as a singer, okay? And I joined a band and everything else. And then when I joined that band, we come up with some good songs and we started gigging, and we got offered to be signed, okay, by a local recording company. Okay, not one of the big ones, just a local one. So what basically happened was, before signing anything, we were in the studio, and we recorded all our songs at the studio. And I wrote all the lyrics for some of the songs, written the music for about 2-3 of the songs, and then the rest of them I put the lyrics to. Went in the recording studio, recorded them, track in, track out, this and that, yeah. And behind my back, the person at the record studio was telling the other band members, because I was the lead singer, was telling the other band members to get a younger singer because they were a younger band and I was older than them, without telling me. And the first I knew about it was when I looked at on a website called Join My Band, and my band was advertising for a new lead singer behind my back while I was still a lead singer for that, and basically robbed all my lyrics, the tracks that I'd written, robbed them all, tried getting another singer, and completely cut me out of it. And that was it. And that's the music industry, mate. Sucked in, chewed up, spat out. But they got their comeuppance as well because they advertised for another singer. Okay. And the people that turned up to do the singing and this and that couldn't hit my range on the songs. Yeah, they never had another singer, never did another gig, never released another album. That was it. So when they got rid of me, they actually completely killed the band. So that's what the music industry's like. If you try writing a song, I tell you, I'll give you a dare. Anyone that plays guitar or piano or anything, try writing a song, right? Record yourself, put it on YouTube, and see what happens. See what happens. If it's fine, it doesn't say copyright, then that you know it's the original track. But 9 times out of 10, it will come up copyright, and you'll be like, "What? That's my own song. I've just written it." But because it sounds similar to another song, copyright gets done. So Moss Monster Men. So since you ignored the question, assume that means a no. What question, mate? What question was it? No, I didn't ignore the question. I think you ignored my answer. Is this a Joff friendly stream? What I said was, what is Joff friendly? So since you ignored the question, I think it means no. If they are Joff friendly, they would never done that to you, my dude. Pete goes, "G'day, mate." So g'day, Pete. Hope you're doing well. Moss Monster Men, tell me what Joff friendly is. And I explained. If you are Joff friendly, they would never have done that to you, my dude. I still don't know what Joff friendly means, mate. As soon as you explain that to me, I'll tell you. Yeah, bro, what is Moss Monster on about? Moss Monster, we don't know what you're on about, mate. So I'm interested in what you've got to say, but I can't answer a question I don't know the meaning to. Pete goes, "I'm not well." What happened, Pete? So Pete's from Australia. What happened, buddy? You feeling under the weather? So waiting for the responses there. Let's have a look under here while we're waiting. Hope everyone is well here. Pete isn't well. Let's have a look. Moss Monster is still waiting for your reply. Sporgod doesn't even know what you're going on about as well. Same here. And Pete isn't well in Australia. So I'm waiting for your replies, guys, and we'll carry on. But I hope everyone is well and enjoying the live stream. It's your chance to interact with the news, say hello, see what you got to say, get your opinion on it as well in a news format. If you're watching on playback, thank you for watching on playback, because I know not everyone can make the live stream. A lot of people have got to go to work. But yeah, thank you for watching. It's very good. Let's have a look here. Let's have a look there. Moss Monster says, "Am I getting AI banned or something?" I answered twice. I'm not sure, Moss Monster, but I have no idea where your answer is. I have looked, mate. It said he explained. So what does Joff friendly mean then? That's all we need to know. Let's have a look here. I'm having a look. No, yeah, it hasn't come through, mate. So if you've honestly put what the answer is, it hasn't come through, and it hasn't come up anything deleted. So I'll let you try and get your answer through, mate. Okay. Pete goes, "Working hot and dusty weather today." Well, hopefully you feel better, mate. It's nice having hot sunny weather in it, but when you feel ill and you're out in the sun and it's hot and like you say it's dusty as well, you just too much to take, mate, isn't it? It's too much to take. Let's have a look here. This is interesting. So, the next story though is air pollution now linked to hospital admissions for mental health, the study finds. So Sporgor says, joint or first, a mode of operation for joint accounts that allows transactions through internet banking. Oh, right, okay. Both fun and cool. Okay, so Sporgor says, let's read that out again. Joint or first, a mode of operation for joint accounts that allows transactions through internet banking. So in answer to the question, is this a Joff friendly site? Probably not, mate. What I've got is I've got a buy me a coffee page literally, if anyone wanted to buy me a coffee, they could on my Buy Me a Coffee page. But what most people do here in the terms of any kind of transaction is a super thanks. It stands for friendly because it's both fun and cool. Okay, well, we got there in the end, Moss Monster Men. I wasn't ignoring you, my mate. I just didn't know what the 3-letter abbreviation was. But thanks for joining. Pete goes 36 degrees tomorrow. Moss Monster said, did that work? Also, can we hear you sing? Understood. Right, let's have a look. You want to hear me sing? You're going to get me copyrighted, mate. What can I sing? What can I sing? I'm just thinking now. My mind's drawn a blank. You just earned yourself a sub for that response. Thank you, Master. Appreciate it. I'll tell you what. I'll sing a little bit of George Michael, what I can remember. Tonight the music seems so loud. I wish that we could lose this crowd. Baby, it's better this way. We hurt each other with the things we want to say. We could have been so good together. We could have lived this life together. Now who's gonna dance with me? Please stay. There you go, mate. Bit of George Michael for you. Elias says, hi. Moss Men goes, hell yeah. Appreciate it, brother. Yeah. Spore goes, that vocal range is grade A. Thank you very much. Getting a bit croaky in my old age. You weren't Catherine good. Mark David says, zip me up before you go. Nice. Very nice. Thank you very much, guys. I try my best to entertain you all, and if I can't entertain, I'll educate, and if I can't educate, I'll imitate. I think that's a good thing for today. What do we reckon? I'll just come up with that. That's original pirate material. Shane's having a laugh as well. So, here we go. The next story, before I start singing The Sound of Music. Air pollution is now linked to hospital admissions for mental health, the study finds. St Andrews University scientists linked nitrogen dioxide, in particular, with higher hospital admissions for behaviour disorders and mental illnesses. The air pollutant comes from burning fossil fuels like petrol in cars or gas in boilers. So they're saying all this pollution is actually linked to mental health. Maria Sina says, Oi, Adrian. Hello, Maria. New research has identified a link between air pollution and an increased risk of hospital admissions for mental illnesses. Previous studies tended to focus more on physical health and on death rather than hospital admissions, the researchers said. Now, scientists from St Andrews University have found someone exposed to air pollution over a long period of time is more likely to be admitted to hospital for mental health and behavioural disorders. They call for stricter environmental protections to benefit millions of people and free up hospital resources. What's interesting about this story is you hear the usual air pollution, it's bad for your lungs, and bad for this and bad for that, and you breathe in respiratory problems. But you never hear them say about mental health, do you? It's the first time I've ever heard that air pollution is bad for your mental health. So that's actually quite interesting. Sporgo goes, sing so good, you just got a copyright strike. Ah, yes, mate. Probably. Do you know what I mean? But I'll take it, guys, just to entertain you. If it's going to be, it's going to be, innit? So it goes, the St Andrews team analysed data from Public Health Scotland for the prevalence and impact of 4 key air pollutants which are associated with road traffic and heavy industry. The large-scale study included more than 200,000 people in Scotland, representing 5% of the Scottish population. Sulphur dioxide had the strongest link with hospital admissions for respiratory disease, while nitrogen dioxide was associated with a high number of hospital admissions for mental illness, behavioural disorders. Cumulative exposure to 2 other pollutants, PM10 and PM2.5, was also associated with higher rates of hospital admissions for cardiovascular, respiratory and infectious diseases. There we go. Sporgel goes, depending in the pollution, it's very possible. Lead has caused drops in IQ around the globe. I'll tell you what, it's one of the reasons why, one of the reasons that went in towards me giving up scrap metal, because I used to be a scrap metal collector and I always used to be cutting up metal and this and that. Now I've got copper rust in my eye that will never leave. Like, I've had my eye on one of those things where they dig out the metal from your eye, because a load shot up in my eye when I was grinding some metal. And they're scraping my eye. It's horrible, mate. It's like something out of Alien. They're scraping my eye, getting it out. But there's copper rust in there. I nearly cut my arm off with a grinder. There's a scar up there somewhere. I don't know if you can see it. But what was happening is, every time I was grinding the copper and grinding the brass and grinding bits of metal, you get all the particles, don't you, in the air? And you always breathe it in. Do you know what I mean? And you never wear a mask because you're just always in too much of a rush. So that's one of the reasons I gave up, because of all the particles coming in to my body. Like, you imagine doing that for 10, 20 years. It's going to do you in, isn't it? Shane Lightcap gives a clap. And Mark Davis said, yes, and fluoride in the water. Yep, 100%, mate. You can even taste the fluoride. I'm sipping tap water now. You can even taste the fluoride in it. So it said the study published in the journal BMJ Open adds to an emerging body of evidence about the impact of dirty air on mental health. Another paper published in May identified a link between indoor air pollution and depression. Last year, Oxford University scientists also found exposure to air pollutants could lead to depression, anxiety, psychosis, and even neurocognitive disorders like dementia. Dr. Mary Abed Al-Ahad, the lead author of the new study, said more measures like low emission zones or shift into electric vehicles would help protect people's health and reduce the burden of hospitals. Policing interventions on air pollution through stricter environmental regulations, long-term planning, and the shifting towards renewable energy could eventually help ease the hospital care burden in Scotland in the long term, she said. Now, you see, I don't really agree with what she's saying there. Like, she's trying to bring in the whole electric car thing. I hate it when people say you should use an electric car to save the environment. Okay, I hate it, because if you look into it, you know, the batteries for these electric cars are made of lithium. And the countries, the South American countries they go to, that I've seen, where they're mining for lithium, absolutely decimate the nature and the countryside there. You see them drilling in, you see rivers of white lithium, rivers of white lithium coming down and dripping down, infecting all the water supply for the local villages and the nearby towns, okay? Because of the world's demand for lithium for the electric cars. Yeah, and so I hate it whenever they say, oh, we've got to save the environment and buy an electric car. Because they use it, in one hand, they're saying, oh yeah, you'll save the air pollution and it'd be better for the ozone layer. But on the other hand, they're absolutely devastating countrysides and villages and water supplies forever, right? Just to get the lithium out so they can make the money out of it. Let's have a look here. Sporgall, wow, cool. Not even just breathing in, people forget how permeable the skin is. Yeah, it is, mate. I could feel it as well. Every time I'd be grinding metal and stuff like this, you'd be coughing your guts up. You know what I mean? It's horrible. Adventures in the Ute. Pete goes, do you know what Hebel is? I do not, Pete. Tell us what Hebel is, mate, or if anyone else knows what Hebel is. Answer. Sporgall goes, imagine swimming in a water source where it has all collected, maybe even drinking it. Cobalt and lithium mines are terrible for the environment as well. Yeah, that's what I was saying. I saw it on the news. Like, someone did a report on it months ago. And it's absolutely terrible. And the recycling part of it as well. People don't tell you this about electric cars. Because I was a scrap man, I know about this stuff. The main part of the electric car is the big, heavy lithium battery that it's got in it, yeah? It can't be recycled, right? You know, lead acid batteries that you get for your car, you take them into a scrapyard, they'll pay you, say, 50p a kilo or something for a battery, yeah? And they'll recycle the acid out of it, and they'll recycle the lead phosphate and a lead sulfate, okay? And the only bit that isn't recyclable really is the plastic square of the box, but most of it can be recycled. If you go into a scrapyard with a lithium battery from a car, you have to pay them to get rid of it, right? If you have to pay them to get rid of it, and you have to pay them a lot of money because the lithium inside, right, is all stuck together with sheets of plastic and glue. Yeah, they're all stuck together with sheets of plastic and glue like that, and it's impossible to recycle it. It's too much work. It's not worth the effort. I'm not even sure if you could recycle lithium in it. I don't really know how that works. But with scrapyards, like if you take an electric scooter in there and it's got an electric, there's electric scooters. If it's got a lithium battery pack in there, they won't pay you your money. This is best case scenario. They won't pay you your money for your scrap metal until you collect the batteries. And in some scrapyards, you get fined £250 for every lithium battery you've bought into the scrapyard. Understandably, because the scrapyard, when they get all their metal together, okay, and they put it in the back of a big lorry to transport somewhere else to get paid for their metal, make their profit, for every lithium battery that gets found in their metal that slipped past the system, and they get fined 250 quid. You find 3 or 4, it takes the whole profit out of the whole metal. So it's proper strict deal on the lithium batteries, and you can't recycle them. You can't take them anywhere. The tips have just started saying, you can bring them down to recycling centres. They just started doing something with it. But I guarantee there is millions of lithium products just put in the waste system and underground. So it's not good. Mark David says, all I want to say is that they don't really care about us. That's all I want to say, brother. I hear what you're saying. Let's have a look here. Let's have a look at the stories of today. So where are you? What you're up to? Where you been? What you doing? How you doing? There we go. Now let's have a look here. This one could be quite relevant, seeing as we were just talking about this. So there was a company called Tata Steel in the UK. This is going to be the last report. So Tata Steel is breaking. It's shutting down. It's a steel refinery. Every time stuff like this happens, mate, the price of scrap metal goes down, mate. It goes down because they can't process scrap metal. If the less is demand and supply with scrap metal, if there's no demand for the steel, so if a steel refinery closes down, there's less demand for that steel. The prices of it, when you weigh it in, goes down. So you get paid less and less and less because there's no demand for it. This is what the guy at the scrapyard used to say. Used to be friends with him. And obviously, when the demand's higher and they need lots of metal, the price of it goes up because they want to get people to get more metal so they can reach their quotas. But let's read this story. It says an extra £15 million for businesses and workers affected by job losses at Tata Steel. Businesses across Wales that are reliant on Tata Steel will now benefit from a total of £30 million. The government is doubling its support for workers and businesses affected by job losses against Tata Steel plant. An extra £15 million will be made available for supply chain businesses and workers affected by changes at Tata's Port Talbot site in South Wales. So I don't think it's closing down. I think they're turning... They don't need as many workers. They're using some technology or something. So an extra 15... South Wales. Joe Stevens, a Welsh secretary, said businesses across Wales that are reliant on Tata Steel will now benefit from a total of £30 million. More businesses will now also be able to apply for the funds, while the value of individual grants will rise up to £250,000 for investment in equipment, property and technology. So up to 2,800 jobs at Tata Steel are expected to be axed. at the country's biggest steelworks in Port Talbot, as the company moves over to a greener form of steel production, which requires fewer workers. The package is designed to support businesses that rely on Tata Steel as their main customer, while the money will also be used to help workers who have been made redundant by giving them access to training and qualification in sectors where there are job vacancies. The government said there have been significant demand on the existing funding, which almost 40 businesses in the application process. Grants worth millions of pounds are expected to be released in the new year. Ms Stevens said the government is acting decisively to support workers and businesses in Port Talbot. We are doubling and funding available to businesses and workers and widening access to grants to ensure we support as many people as possible. In just 4 months, we have announced more than 40 million in investment. We said we would back workers and businesses affected by the transition at Port Talbot, and we are doing exactly that. While this remains a very difficult time for Tata workers, their family and communities, we are determined to support workers and businesses in the Welsh steel industry, whatever happens. Earlier this year, Tata Steel confirmed it would press ahead with plans to close blast furnaces and replace with electric arc furnaces under its plan to reduce emissions and costs. It said the move will cut carbon emissions by about 85% and the UK's overall CO2 output by about 1.5%. The Port Talbot site is the UK's single largest emitter of CO2. The new furnace will make steel by using UK-sourced scrap metal. There you go, see? The new furnace will make steel by using UK-sourced scrap metal as its raw material. The iron ore that the furnaces currently use needs to be imported. Well, maybe that's a good thing then, isn't it, for the scrap men? So if there's any scrap men out there, so it's saying Tata Steel used to have to import its steel to refine it, and now it's saying it's going to use UK steel from the scrap metal industry to fund its main ingredient for making the steel. So there we go. So this is your last little chance to have a little chat, see what you say about that, see what you're up to today. No more news to be read out today. There's plenty of stories there, but I'm going to stay on and have a chat with you all because I enjoy it. Shane Nightcap says, juicy killer monster news today on replay. Tom Hardy sings George Michael's. I love it. I mean, where else are you going to get that? Tom Hardy, lookalike, apparently, allegedly, sings George Michael. I love it. Thank you very much, Shane. Let's hope Pete's feeling better. How's the back? Yeah, it's still sore, mate. I have to, in the mornings, mate, I have to take a couple of ibuprofen, paracetamol. I've held off doing it today. And I walked Marley, my little dog, yesterday, just round the block. No big walks, because I don't want to seize up halfway round. But yeah, I'm just resting it, mate. I'm luckily I'm able to just relax and let it heal. But I'm going to a disco Saturday night. So I better be healed by then, because I'm going to be busting out my best moves, mate. Might even do a video for YouTube. What do you reckon? So yeah, what was wrong with you, Pete? I know you said the name of something there, but what's wrong with you? How's it affecting you? Is it like a coldy flu symptoms, or is it, you know, aching all over your body, or breaking news? I just had a yawn. What is it that's doing you in, mate? Just a quick one as well, Pete, while you're answering that. We might be looking at a van today. Not a van, a car-derived van. I need something the size of a small van, but is actually a car with windows and stuff, because I don't want to get a commercial vehicle insurance for when I do my car boots next year. So we're looking at, I was looking at Renault Kangoos and stuff like that, but I'm looking at a Fiat Doblo, the newer shape, 2010 model. Comes with a year's MOT, which is the safety certificate in the UK. 93,000 miles. They're normally going for like 4 or 5 grand, and this one's going for just under 2,800 with warranty from a garage. I think all it needs is a bit of polishing on the paintwork where the previous people ran like a little dog care business, and you can see an outline of where the text used to be. So it just needs polishing up really, but it looks nice, nice blue color. But I'm gonna need, see, we you know what it's like, we're a typical family, mate. Wherever we can make a saving, like I'm always from the generation, if you save a pound you make a pound, like, you know. So we got our one main vehicle at the moment, but the reality is, for the amount of stuff I'm going to be filming next year at YouTube, I need a vehicle 7 days a week, because a lot of the stuff that I pick up, I have house clearance guys call me, and they'll be on a job and they'll say, hello mate, I'm at house clearance, come over, pick up all the stuff you want for a car boot free of charge and go, but you've got to be there within the next hour. I can't have Lucy having the car parked at her work all day and then me not be able to get anywhere. So I need to pick up stock from customers. It's easier doing a car boot in a van as well, and I need personal transport to get around, because I'm just sort of like, today Lucy's gone out, she's seeing her friend, she's seeing this, seeing that, she's got the car, and now I can't do anything if I wanted to, you know. So Mark David said, does the price of copper go up and down much? Yeah, it can do go up and down much. I'd say the most volatile pricing when it comes to scrap metal is the light iron and shearing. Like, you could go in there one day and get paid £180 a ton for light iron, and then a week later that price could be down to £110 a ton. Whereas copper, you know, let's say it was £6 a kilo for copper, the most it would probably drop down to is about £5.50 a kilo or £5.60 a kilo. But with light iron, it probably sounds more because it's per ton and copper's per kilo. But light iron, mate, I used to go in there at the highest point, right? When I was scrapping, we used to get paid £320 a ton of shearing steel, which is basically any metal without plastic on it. And we used to get paid £220 a ton for light iron. And then in the months before I stopped scrapping, at one point it was £90 a ton. So it had gone from £220 a ton to £90 a ton light iron. And it had gone from £315 a ton for shearing to 150 quid a ton. So that's what you're dealing with. And it always happens like this. You go out scrapping for metal, prices go down, but then you go out scrapping and there's no metal about. So not only have the prices gone down what you're going to pay for, there's no metal about, so you've got to work 2-3 times harder to get some metal, and then you get half the money for it you normally would, and then you guarantee the price of petrol and diesel has gone up at the same point. So brutal, mate. Pete goes, make sure the engine is tip top and service history. Yeah, well, it's coming from, luckily, the garage is literally 2 miles from my house. It's down in Hamble, and it comes with warranty. Yeah, so I'm guessing that covers the engine if it goes wrong, but I'll have a look. It's a 1.6 16 valve multi-jet, so it's not one of these piddly little 1.2 engines or 1.4. It's 1.6 16 valve multi-jet. The reason I don't like buying commercial vehicles. Every commercial vehicle I've ever had, they all suffer from mad rust, and they've all lived a hard life because they're a commercial vehicle. If wherever I can, this is good advice for anyone out there, if wherever you can, always buy the car equivalent of a van. So let's talk about this van that I'm getting. A Fiat Doblo you can buy in a panel van. Okay, so it's a small van with small little side loading doors and a back door, little van space. Now, if you buy the van version, guaranteed that's been used by tradesmen throughout the years. Big, heavy loads, you know, this and that and everything else. But if you buy the car equivalent, chances are it's just been used as a car. And people look after, I know some people rag cars, but cars are always better condition and looked after more than commercial vehicles. So don't, you know what I mean? Don't buy a van. I've said I'll never buy a commercial vehicle ever again. Mark David goes, Kate, wow, Ma. Thank you, Mark David. Chop Chop says, let me put my glasses on, Chop Chop. I use a Berlingo for car boots for years. I used it as a shed now for my car boot stock. Yeah, love it, mate. I used to have a Renault Kangoo, the car version, and Lucy had a Citroen Berlingo car version, and I converted them into ice cream vans, running off batteries and inverters. So I did that. And Pete goes, that's the problem with UK cars, they rust out easy. Yeah, I mean, my tipper truck, my tipper truck I just got rid of, I would have kept that truck, right? I would have kept that truck, and I've sold it to a mate who's in the industry and told him everything that was wrong with it, and he's happy as Larry now. He's got it all fixed. But if I had kept that tipper truck, based on what it cost my mate to fix, right, and there was loads of welding, right, apparently, what based on what it cost my mate to fix and what extra stuff I would have had to get done by a garage, it would have cost me about $2,500 to fix that truck to get it on the road, yeah? Which isn't worth it, because I don't need a tipper truck. I don't need an open top truck. I don't need a big van. I just need a small car derived van that's cheap on insurance, because you know what it's like, as soon as you get a van, you can't insure it as a car, even though there's car equivalents. You have to insure it as a commercial vehicle. Commercial vehicle insurances are more than car insurances. Okay, so I needed a car derived van. Okay, so whenever I pick up stock, just like Chop Chop said, and thanks for saying that, Chop Chop, when you pick the stuff up, you put it in the car, it's undercover, you're protected, it reduces the amount of in, out, unloading and loading. And do they still salt the roads? Yes, they do salt the roads, Pete. Yep, they still salt the roads, mate. And we live near the beach, you know what I mean? So there's lots of salt in the air. So what we've got at the moment is we've got a Hyundai Santa Fe, really strong, powerful, fast car. It can pull 2 tons of weight, and it's like over 200 brake horsepower car, 4-wheel drive. And we've got our trailer, okay, which is fine, because at times if somebody rings me up and says, hello mate, I've got a house clearance here, come across, bring your trailer, because we've got a whole garage of tools to clear out, we've got a whole house of stuff to take as much as you can, right? If they say that, I'm going to be turning up with the van and the trailer, so I still need the trailer. And like Chop Chop said, he uses his Citroen Berlingo as just storage now, as a shed, isn't it? It's a shed. So we use our trailer as a storage shed. It's all waterproof in there, big cattle trailer. And what I want to do with this car, so I want a run around for my personal transport, because when Lucy's at work, she's got the car all day, I can't go anywhere. So I want it for my personal transport. I want it to be a car drive van, so it's cheap in insurance. It's got to have good bodywork. I hate having cars with dents and covered in scratches and dents. No rust. And it's got to have a solid engine, service history, and have a year's tick on it, have a year's MOT on it. And that's what I want. And I'm not going to buy anything unless it's got that. Mark David said, I put PVA glue on rust, stops it. Good. Oh, that's a good idea, actually. Luce goes, I'm back. Chop Chop goes, and now the weather. Yay. She's not here, mate. She's out spending all the money, mate. She's heard I want a van, so she said, oh, he's buying a van. I'm going to buy myself loads of food. Love you, Luce. I'll get punched later for that. Shane says hello as well. So does Pete. So yes, we're looking for a little van now. Don't need to be anything too expensive. I don't like wasting money. But this one's up for between 2 and 3 grand. And it looks good. It just needs a polish on the paintwork, I think. But when Luce gets back from spending all our money on food, I'll ring them up. We'll go down and have a look, because like I say, it's only a couple of miles down the road. Go for a test drive, see what I can get it for, see what I can get them down to, but I'm not expecting too much off. And yeah, just have a ring. And then it'd be nice to have that van sat outside there, ready to go whenever I want to use it. And then when my mate rings me up and says, I'm at a house clearance, turn up now, we've got a garage and a house to clear, take as much stuff as you want for free, then I can do it. And then when I make my videos, which I will be soon, I'll be making videos advertising the fact again. So you're getting a news exclusive, breaking news. I'll make videos saying to people, if they want to get rid of stuff, yeah, we did one ages ago, but it was just to let you know what was going on. If people are getting rid of stuff, they're going to have a house clearance, or they're going to call for a skip, or they've got a load of stuff for a tip run that they can't do, but they want rid of the stuff and it's in a resellable good condition, then we will turn up if they're kind of low, no more than 15 miles away. And if they're 15 miles away from us, it needs to be like a van load, yeah? If they're within that remit, we'll go and pick it up, take it off them free of charge, film it so you can see us picking it up. And, you know, we can then sell that for a profit and get footage for it as well. And that will be part of the new business, because my old business was scrap metal that I used to film on YouTube. And my new business is going to be reselling, buying at car boots, buying at charity shops, getting stuff for free from house clearances, maybe drive around the scrapping areas for an hour, a couple of hours during the week, see if there's anything resellable that I could pick up there, filming it all, and then you'll see us selling at car boots, what money we made from it, and you'll also see us buying stock at car boots to build up the van stock to make a profit on. So you've all got that to look forward to. So Shane goes, hi, Mark Davis said if you get kicked out, you can sleep in the van. Now, I've already got a caravan in the garden for that, Mark. Yeah, every time I get kicked out of the house, mate, I can sleep in the caravan, can't I? Make myself a pot noodle. I moan about it on YouTube. Oh, dear. Well, guys, do you know what? It's been bloody good talking to you, mates. I hope you all have a good day. Thank you very much for joining. The regulars on the show, thank you for your continued support. We'll keep going. And for all the new people, thank you very much for joining. Hopefully you become regulars. And I will see you on the next live stream tomorrow, if you can make it, 9 o'clock in the morning onwards. And if you want some content to look at while you are out and about today, we have 370 videos for you to enjoy already on the channel, in a mixture of live stream, shorts, and main videos. So enjoy that. Mark Davis says, nice. Chop, chop, busy, busy, work, work, bang, bang. Says, shortest day, 21st-ish, then starts to get lighter. Come on the spring. Yes, so before I say goodbye, we will be filming at a car boot every week. We found a golden car boot down here. Every week, come rain, come shine, is on. Okay, so we'll be filming once a week unless it's absolutely chucking it down and no one's there. And so you'll get at least one car boot video every week. And coming from January, you'll get at least one charity shop video every week. And then when I start pushing it to pick up stuff from people, you'll get those videos as well. And then go around the scrap routes looking for a few gems, little kids' bikes, kids' scooters, maybe stuff that's been put out that isn't wet that we can sell at car boots. All right. So Mark Davis says, cool. Shane goes, thanks, channel. Chop, chop, Pete. Cheers, Shane. Chop, chop goes, Shane. Right, guys. Enjoy yourself. Have a fantastic day. And I will see you tomorrow. Justin from Juicy Killer Monster, over and out. Take care, guys. See you later.